pace. Don't you say it, Ricky. These colors don't run.
Race of France. Review. Season 5 of the FRL, the WTCC Championship Series, rolls into Le Mans for the Race of France on the Bugatti circuit. Under the lights of the track, 13 cars rolled off the line in Heat 1 in relatively quiet fashion, until the number 85 of Alan Ruff veered left across the bumper the number 86 car and dumped its driver Paul Maestri into the wall. Both would struggle to recover from this early setback. Policitor Travis Billingsley held on to his P1 position early, but he was challenged hard by teammate Andrew Steppert throughout his lead. These two would run a fairly clean but heated battle at the front. Meanwhile, Ethan Maestri had some early lap mistakes and fell back to P10, leaving teammate Brian Dean to carry the RZM banner at the front of the field. After a few laps of hard charging and close calls, Paul Maestri was holding in the top 5 and even looked like he might be able to make a challenge to Brian's P3 position. However, a mid-race mistake due to a faulty tuning choice sent him hard into the wall after the front stretch, wrecking his car, with major damage to his transmission. He was forced to limp his way back to the pits, thus putting him 2 laps down and forcing him to finish the heat in P12. Besides the intense battle at the front, Tony Terry and Matthew Smith would spend the majority of both heats racing each other in some of the best back-and forth action on the track all night. Ethan Maestri had to gingerly tiptoe around these two in order to make his way back into the top 5. Tony would benefit from a wide line taken by Matthew and would follow the number 85 Razorback Motorsports Audi to a P5 finish. Matthew would fall further back to a hard-charging Drew Dilbeck and Owen Henderson to finish P8. While never really being able to get into a position to challenge his Millennium Motorsport teammate, Owen Henderson showed marked improvement in this event and shadowed Drew throughout. Tom Henderson would struggle through both heats, finishing both in P10. Carter Merkling and Alan Ruff would both make appearances in this heat. However, Alan would suffer lag problems early and would retire from the heat and would not return for Heat 2. Carter suffered through Heat 1, having little practice on the track, but still finished P11 ahead of Paul and Alan. His night would end early as he retired from the field during the parade lap for Heat 2. Travis would fight hard for a win in this heat, but a slide into the Dunlop turns and subsequent run-in with the speed bumps ended his reign at the top. Andrew Steppert easily skirted his number 001 BMW around the stricken Volvo and would finish the heat in P1. Heat 2 started with a bit more gusto than Heat 1. The reversed grid order did its usual job of making for interesting race start viewing. As the mad scramble for position ensued, Andrew Steppert did a masterful job of shooting the gap and assuming a top 5 position before the Dunlop turns were even reached. Several challenges would be made against his advancement by several drivers, but ultimately he would make his way toward the front, eventually passing Brian Dean and setting sail for a clean sweep of both heats. Travis Billingsley would have a more adventurous time getting to the front, using almost all 16 laps before closing on Brian Dean in the closing lap and challenging his P2 spot. However, time and turns ran out for the Apex driver and Brian scores his first P2 finish this season. Paul Maestri makes a great recovery after the disaster in Heat 1. He finishes P4 and gains a bonus point by setting the 3rd fastest lap time of the night, keeping him in the hunt in the series points race. Ethan Maestri would struggle getting through traffic again and would have to settle for a P5 finish. Tony Terry would take advantage of good car control again and finishes P6 in the heat. It would allow land him his biggest points performance, a P5 overall position on the night. Further back, results would be mixed for the newly named Millennium Motorsport crew, with Drew finishing a respectable P6 overall and Owen Henderson scoring his first points of the season, finishing P9 overall. Rookie Nicholas Hargrove would take the final point position, bringing home P10. It was a good night for some, not so great for others. The championship begins to reveal itself a bit more. However, improved performance from some drivers keeps things interesting moving forward. So what do we take away from the race of France? Let's take a look. Andrew Steppert secures his lead in the points by picking up back-to-back heat wins, and Apex Racing dominated the top 5 on the night. Their hold on the lead in team points looks to be a near lockout where the other teams are concerned. However, the Nürburgring now looms ominously on the horizon. Double points and a shake-up in the race format means question marks for the outcome of this event. It would not be a dangerous bet to put all your money on Steppert claiming his second straight Lord of the Ring title, but things aren't exactly stable under the hood of that BMW, and a lag out is always a possibility. What would such an outcome do to the points standings? It is quite likely that another Apex Racing driver might fill that void. Travis Billingsley has a rival lap time that could put him at the front of the field. Paul Mistry has proven himself on the ring in the past as well. Any one of the top 10 drivers in the points could put themselves in a position to make up a lot of ground here, but that's looking ahead. In the here and now, Tony Terry and Matthew Smith are the two drivers to talk about from the race of France. Their performances on the Bugatti circuit were outstanding. Tony exhibited great car control and seems to have settled into the feel of his number 47 BMW. Matthew has taken his number 12 Mercedes from being an obstruction to avoid at Bathurst to being a legitimate contending driver anywhere in the top 10. Tony scores a top 5 on the night and gains a little ground on Drew Dilbeck in the points race. Matthew gains solid ground on Nicholas Hargrove in the rookie points battle, closing to within 7 points. These two now add to a growing list of threats to take seriously from the top down. Not to be overlooked is Owen Henderson. He finishes inside the top 10 for the first time this season and picks up 2 points from a P9 overall finish. This brings him up to tie his brother Tom in the rookie points. Finally, we look at Brian Dean. He missed the second round at Yas Marina and looked to be by himself holding down the 5th position in points. But 2 outstanding heats by this driver secured a P3 podium spot and a much needed 15-point payout. This helps him close the gap on the Maestri brothers, both of whom sit just under 20 points ahead of him. It is a monster race coming up next. Whether the racing is close or not, either way, the results of the race of Germany will change the complexion of the series.
Sammy, you are wrecking the car! Shut up!